Man, when you look at those people that were doing those books, they wrote over 200 something books, and you know inside of those books, that being that Esau has those books now, man, you have all these different aspects that would probably show that Jake has spiritual power, man. You know, doing all kind of things, man. Yep. You know, and that's one of those things that, you know, we basing everything off of faith because what we reading and everything, but we know these guys have different records than what we have. What we have is the Apocrypha and we have the scriptures. But we know that the information they have is more detailed.
That's right. Because when you go into like even when David and his mighty men were around, those other nations have records of what they saw in those battles.
Right, right.
They know what they saw, man. They know they saw David kill 10,000 of their own men.
Right, right. Right.
They saw that. The ones that survived went back and wrote books and information about it. You know what I'm saying? And said, look, this guy, King David, and his men, they were jumping over the whole
leaping over walls.
Leaping over walls.
Right,
you know
right.
And see what people don't understand is like, you gotta visualize, because a lot of people don't understand is that a lot of the Middle Age gear you see in the Middle Ages is what we were wearing.
That's right.
The coat of mail, the helmets, the shield, the buckler, all that stuff is what we were wearing.
That's right.
That's why when you go into like, you watch things like 300, that was Jake. But what they showing you them with their abs out and stuff.
Right, right.
Oh man, we had a body armor, man.
Yeah.
Now the helmet was on point. That they had the little what's it called, but they don't let you know that a lot of them rot brains because the guy that made the movie, I forgot his name, but he does Frank Miller. I believe was the one that made the novel, the picture novel.
Yeah.
In his picture novel, they got him all with dark skin and wearing cornrows.
Man.
Ain't that something?
But then when he made the movie, he had to take it out because he had to. But he knows the original history because he probably has access to the original pictures of the Spartans. That's why you're never going to see an original picture of a true Spartan. All that stuff is going to be made up by Esau. They're not going to show you a true picture of a Spartan.
Right.
You'll see a true picture of a Greek, of Alexander on a horse and all that stuff, but you ain't going to see a true picture of a Spartan. Just like you're not going to see true pictures of Israelites.
Right.
Unless you're searching deep for it. Unless you do a Google search and type in ancient Israelites, then you'll start seeing what an ancient Israelite looked like.
That's right.
But they ain't gonna give it to you directly. They're just gonna give it to you in a movie and Edomite wash it.
Yeah, right. Edomite it. That's what they do.
That's it, man.
Like the brother was saying with the spiritual power and things like that, all that stuff was documented.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the other nations have documents. That's why you saw when they go to the Middle East, they're looking for all that.
Right,
They're
right.
looking for the Moabite stone. They're looking for the remnants of what he wrote about, so you can link up history together and keep it for themselves. So what the brother said is also very powerful, because Esau understands that within certain men in Israel is going to be an unlocking of that spiritual power. Right? So they have to tread lightly even today. That's why they create their exoskeleton suits.
Right, right. Yeah.
That's why they got the Ancestry.com and all this type of stuff, so they can try to get a sample of Jake's DNA.
Yeah. And they feel like they already got everything they need. That's why they want to get rid of Jake. Because somebody was talking about how cultural appropriation, how Jake creates all this different music, and then they let other people take over it, like R&B. Now R&B, I'll give you a prime example. Now, even within so-called music and entertainment, just because somebody is so-called white, according to this classification, doesn't mean that they're an Edomite.
Right, right.
And I don't know if some of y'all can't get that, but we're just trying to let you know that that's not always the case. Now, the guy was talking about how they have all these different artists that are not so-called black doing R&B. And I talked to somebody that's in the industry that I know, and I asked him, I said, man, why is it that Usher can't put out an album like Justin Bieber did? Like Justin Bieber put out like a real R&B album, like I'm talking real like core R&B album. And I was like, why is Usher doing pop music? He should just go and just make an album like Justin Bieber.
Yeah, yeah.
And they didn't understand. They're in the industry. This person didn't is blamed Usher.
Yeah.
They said, no, Usher is the one who's doing that. Usher doesn't want to make R&B. Usher wants to make pop. I was like, come on, you know you're lying, right? There's no way you're telling me that Usher dropped his Confessions album and did Diamond, which is like the last Diamond album that was done by a male artist, a solo male artist. You know, like that's the last one that did 10 million plus. I think, what's her name, the singer, what's the chick's name, the big one from England? Adele.
Adele.
Now,
Yeah.
Adele, she could be an Israelite. We don't know, but we're just giving an example. She's doing soul music that other artists could be doing. But
Right.
why is she doing it? Because it works better. They've already feel like they've gotten the formula of the music down.
Yeah, yeah.
Understand that they feel like they got in the spirit of Jake.
Uh-huh.
They've already balled up enough of it that they can replicate it amongst their own for their own entertainment.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's right.
And you can see it. You can see it even in behaviors too, man.
Yeah.
Like you can see staunch. I know this one Edomite cat when I was growing up, man. Straight Edomite, country boy, man. As we were growing up, he was the only Edomite dude around us. But as he got older, when he hit them 20s, that dude's thing just turned. He went to jail, experienced all that life in jail. When he came out, voice changed. That joker had had to walk down, had this little swag going. If nobody knew, they would say, that boy right there could be a Jake. That boy could be a Jake. But man, I knew, because he grew up with us. And I knew he was an Edomite. Because
You can tell by the way he.
yeah, when he grew up, he was
That's right.
his father, his mother, they were straight country bumpkins, pink, is all outdoors, hated brothers.
Had no flavor.
No flavor whatsoever. He was the same way. His brother is the same way. But then as him coming up, because he jumped into the little game of selling and stuff like that. But then as he got older, he just mimicked Jake.
Yeah.
And he got good at it. I was like,
Because
dang.
what it's called, what someone can inherit is what's called a familiar spirit.
Right.
It's so heavy.
That's right.
Yeah.
A lot of guys don't even understand that familiar spirit.
Uh-huh. And
A
so
familiar spirit can make you act like something that you're not.
right.
That's why you got people that have multiple personality disorders and they can act like different people. They can sound and talk like different people.
That's right.
And you know what's
And it's really just a spirit that's inside of them that they received.
And you know what's so cold with that? And that, so one of these guys, like we was over there on the block one time, and this dude came up, and you remember he was out there and he had that little Mercedes bike or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they thought he was just Jake.
Uh-huh.
You know, it don't always. I mean, he wasn't in the scriptures. He wasn't in the scriptures because he wasn't trying to hear nothing. But just in general, somebody would because that's what the brother said. He say, you act like a nigga.
Now,
you know what I'm saying?
Peep this. I'm gonna ask you a question. It's like this. If let's say Justin Timberlake is an Israelite, right? Is he a wheat or a tear?
If Justin Timberlake is an Israelite,
According to how it's been broken down in One West or GMS.
no. He would be a tear, being that he didn't accept the truth.
Okay, that's what we're talking about. Well, exactly. So when we're talking about wheat and tares, because I don't want brothers to get confused with it.
Oh,
And
okay.
I know a lot of, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
A lot of guys believe that the wheat and tares breakdown is based on whether someone is Israel or not.
Right.
That.
Right.
I know what the brother's talking about. He just gave an example. I know exactly what he was alluding to. I just don't want you to refer to that parable as that particular breakdown. He was just referring to characteristics.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to, we can get it real quick, go to Matthew, I think 13th chapter, and find the parable of wheat tares. I know what you're talking about. I just don't want brothers and sisters to be confused.
Yeah.
Because then they're going to be thinking that, I'm not saying you didn't have no ill intent.
Yeah.
They're going to be thinking based on what they heard with the wheat and tares breakdown.
Right.
That's what it's talking about.
Right.
It's talking about, well, we don't know because if somebody comes in and they infiltrate or whatever, that they could be a tear. Or something like that. Or they could be another nation.
Right.
Now we can go into it.
Is it? I think it's.
Keep going. Because it's pretty long. You got a lot of parables here.
There you go. Yeah, right here. That's for the tails together.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that brothers, because we hadn't brought it out formally in a lesson, and I know exactly what you're talking about. What we're talking about as far as just like you were saying with the guy, that he was emulating Jake.
Right.
He was emulating Jake. Now, with GMS or whatever, for example, they would just take anybody that likes rap music or acts like a nigga
Right.
as someone that's Israel and he's
Right.
and he's okay. We're not worried about who Israel is as much as we're worried about who believes in the scriptures, who believes in the gospel.
Right.
Ultimately, that's what it is. Because guess what? If somebody comes up acting like a straight up East Indian, sounding like what's the guy from Simpsons? What's the guy, the slushy guy? Abu.
Yeah.
And they come here sounding like Abu wearing East Indian clothing, but they believe in the gospel. How they a tear? They believe in. You know how many Jakes don't believe? You listen.
Right.
They got twin brothers. Their brother is complete into heathenist stuff.
Yeah.
They into the truth.
Right.
Then you got people that are set up in this to basically be amongst people, but they don't really believe. That's where the separation is going to happen.
You're right.
Okay? That's the real separation. Now go ahead and start off at the parable. But the brother's saying what the brother's saying is right. I just want to make sure we go into this so that way they don't get confused. But the brother's on point because I see that. You see that all the time.
Yeah.
You got people that are appropriating Jake and adding the elements of what Jake does.
Exactly.
On a carnal level into what they do, whether it be lingo, hairstyle, walk, strut, talk, changing their voice and sounding a certain way. But when they get around their own, they switch up.
You're right.
That's not who they are.
Yeah, and that goes straight into that familiar spirit that the brother was talking about too.
Yeah.
They just adopting that piece and basically operating in that spirit, man.
Yeah. Now I'll give you a prime example before we get into this. It's good that you brought that up. I'll give you one prime example. Name one woman on the planet that is heavily emulated by men and women.
That's heavily emulated by what? Beyonce?
That's it. Now all these people, all these men and women, Beyonce is like an idol that they almost call upon to inherit that type of vibration.
Right.
Because these men and women that look up to Beyonce, they want to exhibit and emulate. They worship her, and they end up embodying some of the characteristics that she shows. Men and women.
Yeah.
That's why Beyonce is so important. See, the Esau set up. It's called synchronization.
Yeah.
It's synchronization of different idols. Beyonce has been created to be an idol similar to Virgin Mary.
What's your piece? The Osharon?
Osharon. She's in that same mode. That's why they use her for that.
Right.
And those same idols give that same femininity quality. Umoja, they have another one called Umoja. It deals with having those feministic, sensual, feminist qualities.
Right.
Getting them. Now peep this. Yesterday, Kim Kardashian, who's another woman, she came out with a dress, an emoji where she's the Virgin Mary.
Oh shit, there they go.
No lie. And she's another woman that's like that. Another one before them is Marilyn Monroe. And all these different men and women, they emulate those because they've been deified by the elites.
That's right.
Yeah.
The elites deified those people, so now it's to the point where they can worship those people and get that energy, that familiarity, and use it in their real life.
Right.
That's how heavy it is. So go ahead and go into that, but that was a beautiful example that you brought out, bro.
Yeah.
That shows you the importance of just dealing with the gospel.
That's it.
Don't be dealing with someone acting like riffraff.
Yeah.
After riffraff out here in Houston.
That's right.
Just because he acting like that don't mean he's a Jake.
Don't mean he a Jake, man.
Now, I met Paul Wall. I met Paul Wall. Paul Wall doesn't even know his dad, bro.
Yeah.
He could be a so-called Issachar, a so-called Mexican. He didn't even grow up with his dad. His dad left when he was young.
Right.
That sounds like what Jake does.
Yeah.
He didn't grow up with his dad. And I met Paul Wall. You know, so for me, if he came down the street, I'd preach the gospel to Paul Wall. Because I met him back 10 plus years ago. And he's authentic. That's just how he talks. That's how he talk, man.
All right.
You get what I'm saying? I met the guy. Away from camera and all that. Before he really blew up. That's how he was.
Right.
And it might not be because he grew up around Jake. It might be because that's just how he is. You get what I'm saying?
That's right.
So you got to deal with the spiritual aspect. We talking about down there, be like a child. So it's good that you brought that up.
That's right.
Now we're going to go into this little parable real quick to break it down, understanding of it. We'll do a formal lesson of it too.
Wait till that.
Yeah, wait till that goes away.
Well, that we ain't picking up.
This is the book of St. Matthew, chapter 13, verse 24. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat, and went his way. But when the blades were sprung up and brought forth fruit, Then appeared the tares also. So the servants of the household came and said unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow good seed in thy field? From whence then has it tares? He said unto them, An enemy has done this.
And we'll get into that enemy. We'll precept it with something
Yeah.
else. Now, get this real quick. Go to John chapter 8, and about verse 42. You know, your father the devil.
John 8 and 42.
John 8, yeah. John 8, it's like 40-something, 42. You are your father the devil, unless your father you will do.
Yeah, I got it.
Where you at? Verse 8.
That's right.
One more chapter. We're going to just identify. Yeah, we're just going to give an example of that. Go ahead.
Yeah, right here. This is John chapter 8, verse 44.
Let's start up a little bit further. 43. 42. 42. Go to 42.
This is John 8 and 42.
Now he's talking to Israelites.
Yeah.
Right,
He's talking
right.
to Israelites here. So go ahead.
Yahweh said unto them, If Yahweh were your father, ye would love me, for I proceeded forth and came from Yahweh.
Now, if Yahweh were your father, right? Because we're
Right.
talking about paternity, but we're talking about from a spiritual sense.
That's right.
Right, right, right.
Keep going.
I proceed forth and came from Yahweh. Neither came I of myself, but he sent me.
Keep going.
Why did ye not understand my speech? Even because ye cannot hear my word?
Now, in this thing, the hearers of the words, you got a lot of people that are in this so-called truth, but they don't even understand what he's talking about.
Right, right.
That's the reason why there's such a division in Israel about what this and that breakdown means. What does masters and servants mean?
Right, right.
What does it mean to be married? What does it mean to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
All
yeah.
these different things we're arguing about that something should be elemental
Right.
and understood, but they can't understand it. Why? Keep going. But they're in the truth though. They're amongst
Right.
brethren.
Right.
They're amongst guys that are doing the truth, or they think that that's the brother. They might link up. They might not be in the same group, but they might link up with each other. But they don't. The understanding is missing.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Verse 44. Ye are of your father, the devil.
So Yahweh Shai says, if you were, he says, if God was your father, if Yahweh was your father, you would do blah 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 blah.
Right.
But ye are not. You are of your father, the devil.
Devil.
So that's who. So we're gonna go back to the what's it called?
And you did tell who he's talking to, right?
Yeah, Israel.
Oh yeah, okay, okay.
The
Yeah,
Israelites.
yeah. Oh, okay, okay.
Because they were even before that. They said, if you go after that, he says, we are our father Abraham.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we be not born of fornication.
Right, right.
That's Jake. Now go back to that Matthew 13.
Right.
The enemy. So I don't think it breaks down the enemy, but
Yeah.
just kind of highlighting who the enemy is. But we're gonna keep going on.
He said unto them, An enemy has done this. The servant said unto him, Wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? But he said, Nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them.
Yeah, because we don't know. We're still
Right.
working out our salvation.
That's right. That's right.
We don't know whether or not we would be considered
That's
worthy to be delivered.
That's right.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? That's how humbling it is.
That's right.
Yep.
Nobody can say who is the 2/3.
Yeah,
That.
you can't
do that,
you
bro.
can't
Because we
do
don't
it.
know if we're gonna be delivered.
Right, right.
Because right now you got groups of men doing the work overall throughout the country, but even amongst those men, you're gonna have men that
Yeah.
are gonna break off from among that. So what if
Yeah.
it makes sense? Like a brother says, "Oh, let's go get rid of all the guys in GMS." No, GMS is an organization going to come.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
The men it's going to be men that's going to be delivered that are going to be part of the elect.
Yep, that's right.
Just as an example of a group. Same thing with IUIC and guys that are in ICPK and other groups.
That's right.
There's going to be men that's going to come out among in the last times that are going to move away from wayward false doctrines.
And the ones that
So going out and getting them now and saying, "Oh, we're part of the elect. Let's go destroy those men."
But the ones that don't come out of that, they're gonna be those tares.
That's the reason why there's a time frame for this.
Yeah.
He's going to go into it, right?
That's right.
Go ahead.
But he said, Nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them.
Yeah, so if a guy comes to and says, just get rid of all GMS, guys in GMS, he's going off.
Right, right.
Get rid of all guys in whatever group. You get what I'm saying? You're going off.
right.
Because you're basically trying to push forth the judgment as your own when it's not yours to do the judgment.
That's right. That's
So
right.
keep going.
Let both grow together until the harvest.
He said, let both of them keep growing until what? The harvest.
The harvest.
Right.
And it's gonna break down what all that is. Because there's a season
Right.
for everything.
That's right.
Let's keep going.
And in the time of harvest,
In the time, the season of harvest,
I will say to the reapers, gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn.
okay, so
Jump down to the answer to that parable.
yeah.
Okay, this is verse 37. And he answered and said unto them, the disciples asked him to break down the parable.
That's right.
He said unto them, he that soweth the good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom,
Yep.
but the tares are the children of the wicked one.
See, and then that's where it goes. People have put the onus of the wicked one just strictly on Esau.
And it's not
That
yeah.
means that the other nations can't be the wicked.
That's right.
You see the
Yeah.
folly in that.
Right, right.
Because if somebody came out of the seed of Japhet,
Uh-huh.
they wouldn't fall into either category.
That's right.
And the
Does that make any
the-
sense?
The tares is the ones that look like another nation,
Yeah.
but are not. You know, I mean, look like Jake, but they're not.
Yep.
They're not Jake. They saying that
The
that's
wicked,
the
the
tares.
children of the wicked one is talking about the father of the devil.
That's right.
The children of the kingdom is talking about the children of the Most High, which will be
Right.
Yasharallah,
Right.
which will be the official Yasharallah. Now it's going to break it down even further. Keep going.
The enemy that soweth them is the devil.
There
The
you
devil.
go.
Go back, when we went back to John 8, it told
Right.
you, ye are of your father the devil.
He was talking
It's not talking about Esau, brother.
Right.
Because when you go into Revelation chapter 20 or whatever, it breaks down the devil is Satan and
Right.
the serpent, the old serpent.
That's
Now
right.
it does say the beast is destroyed and all the other stuff, but there's a spiritual element of the hierarchy.
That's right.
Satan is at the top of even above Esau.
Right.
That's who they under right now. But when it goes into this, it's talking about the wicked Jakes that did not believe in the gospel.
That's
versus
right.
those that are of the kingdom, the children of the kingdom. If you're a child of the kingdom, that means you inherited what? Eternal life. You're not a children of the kingdom if you didn't inherit eternal life.
That's right.
Right.
So keep going.
As the harvest is the end of the world,
The end of the world, which right now we're not truly at the end. We're approaching the end. We're approaching the time of the harvest, but it's not yet.
right.
That's why everybody got to grow into that time.
Right.
Everybody got to go into their life at that time, which means brothers got to fall in and fall out spiritually of the truth,
Right.
so to speak. You got to let everything play out, meaning
Right.
don't just do it judge before the time. That's why it tells you in one of the epistles, it says judge not before the time. That's in Corinthians.
Yeah.
Paul says that. Because you can't judge that the end of a man's faith is on this side right now.
Right,
Now I
right.
could call Tahar a false apostle until he becomes a true one if he is one.
That's right.
Right.
Because we're not lying.
Yeah, you wouldn't be lying, and then you can validate it through the scriptures.
That's
Exactly. So keep going.
As therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so shall it be in the end of this world.
Look at that.
The Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom
There you go.
all things that offend, and them which do iniquity.
Those are the children of the wicked.
Which are who? Israelites.
Which are wicked Israelites that are of their father, the devil, that sowed them. Yeah.
Right.
So to speak spiritually, set them up for that behavior and fall.
Right.
Keep going.
And shall cast them into a furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth.
It's talking about the judgment of the eternal judgment.
Right.
Second death by fire, right? Now, read this. If that was talking about Israel and non-Israelites, that means anybody that's an Israelite is going to be delivered.
Right.
The tares will just be the so-called Edomite tares, as they say, are the ones that are going to be destroyed.
Yeah.
But anybody that's Israel is going to be delivered to be a king. You see the folly in that breakdown?
Yeah. That's a major
And I
folly.
brought that up to Tazapah. Oh, hey, brother, Occam's razor. Occam's razor. Meaning the simplest, most obvious answer is the answer. No, bruh. The answer is in what Yahweh Shai said.
That's right.
Bruh. That's
right.
Occam's razor theory. Go into the breakdown of Yahweh Shai. When the disciples asked him to break it down, he broke it down to them.
Right.
So the guys is going and putting it to the barn. It's not talking about all Israel. Because that means anybody that's Israel is going to make it.
Right.
Yeah,
You see the folly in that breakdown.
and see that thing, and then that thing goes even deeper in that, man. Because when you start looking at it, that's when you start to bring in everlasting life for all Israel, bro.
Yep. You see the leaven.
It's straight leaven in that, bro.
It's straight leaven. And none of these guys can break that down.
I got it scripted right here. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6 and verse 11. Wherefore set your affection upon my words. Desire them, and ye shall be instructed. No, pay attention to the words, man.
Yeah, red letter, man.
The words of Yahweh Shai.
He broke it down, man. The disciples wanted to know the breakdown. He broke it down to them.
You will be instructed to what these parables mean.
Yeah, the wicked one is not always
to the words, man.
The wicked one is not always talking about Esau, man. We talked about that when we first got out.
Shoot, that's just like in Jeremiah, because among my people are found wicked men.
Come on, bro.
So it's this
First Maccabees.
bro, first Maccabees, the wicked men that went with Antiochus Epiphanes.
Yeah, them that offend, them that do iniquity. The other nations is not giving the commandments.
Right.
We're talking about the judgment specifically on Israelites that are deemed as wicked.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's right.
Those are the ones that offend and do iniquity, meaning the ones that haven't been yet performed.
That's right.
Through the belief in Yahweh Shai.
That's right.
The nations wasn't given the law, statutes, and commandments to commit iniquity against the Most High.
Exactly. The judgment is primarily talking about that. So shoot, we could go ahead and wrap it up.
Yeah.
Go ahead and wrap it up, man. But hopefully that was edifying for you, brothers. You wanted to bring it out formally, but it was a good time to bring it out.
Right.
And the brother bring out a good example of what happens in the real world, and then and then what happens on this side.
Yeah, because Jake like to look at that, man, and just automatically bring people in, man.
Yeah, you can't just throw on some cornrows. She a Jake now.
Yeah.
Now I'm not saying she's not.
Right.
I'm just saying you're basing it on outward appearance.
Right, they base it on outward appearance, yeah.
You're basing it because she got a big whatever. Hey man, there's a lot of women of other nations that got that are holding in the back there.
Hey, and look, Esau got with a lot of women, man.
Yeah.
And that DNA kind of transferred over.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so so you can't base it. Oh man, she holding back there, man. She got what's it called?
She Jake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Go ahead.
This is the book of St. Matthew, chapter 26, verse 6. Now when Yahweh Shai was in Bethany, in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head as he sat at meat. But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, to what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for much and given to the poor. When Yahweh Shai understood it, he said unto them, why trouble ye the woman? For she hath wrought a good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. For in this she hath poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this that this woman has done be told for a memorial of her.
Right.
Right.
All right, so just at the end of it, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Again, we want to give all praise and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai.
And peace and blessings to you brothers and sisters throughout the four corners of the earth that are waiting on the second coming of our Lord and Savior Yahweh Shai. Shalom.
Shalom.